Welcome to Malvern Books. Thank you so much for coming tonight, and this is going to be a very fun, special event. I know Alexis for at least 1 billion years, and I've met Salgado a couple of times, but this will be a really fun reading with Salgado Manreal and Alexis Levitin, his translator. Let me introduce first Salgado Manreal. Salgado was born in the impoverished interior of Maranhão in the northeast of Brazil, where he lived with his mother and an illiterate field worker until the age of 15. From these humble beginnings, he has risen to the position of one of the most leading poets of his country and probably the leading voice representing the Afro-Brazilian experience. He won the prestigious Premio Jabuti Prize in 1999 with his 4th poetry collection, Mural of Winds. In 2011, The Color of the Word won the Brazilian Academy of Letters' highest poetry award. In 2014, the Brazilian Pen Club chose his collection, Mapping the Tribe, as the best book of poetry for the year. In 2015, the Brazilian Writers Union gave him the first prize in The Color of the Word. In 2016, he was awarded the Jabuti Prize for his book, Opera of Nos. This was his second Jabuti, an extremely rare honor. He's published 2 books since the Opera of Nos. Here we go. A Sargação dos Lobos, and in addition to 14 books of poetry. He's written song lyrics, made recordings with some of Brazil's leading jazz and pop musicians. Here in the USA, prior to Palavra, which we have over there, he is represented by 2 bilingual collections of poetry, Blood in the Sun and Tiger Fur, which we also have available here. For those of you who do not speak Portuguese, of which I am one, we are introduced to Salgado's magnificent work by Alexis Levitin, because Alexis Levitin is Salgado's translator. Alexis Levitin translates works from Portugal, Brazil, and Ecuador. His 41 books of translation include Clarice Lispector's Soulstorm and Eugenio de Andrade's Forbidden Words, both from New Directions. Recent books from Brazil include Astrid Gabal's Cage, which we have available over there, and Salgado's books. Recent books from Portugal include The Art of Patience by Eugenio de Andrade, Exemplary Tales by Sofia de Mello Breyer Anderson, and Cattle of the Lord by Rosa Alice Branco. Recent books from Ecuador. I mean, he gets around. He moves slowly, but he gets around. Recent books from Ecuador include Tobacco Dogs by Ana Minga, Destruction in the Afternoon by Santiago Vizcaíno, and Outrage by Carmen Vascondes. He has been the recipient of 2 NEA Translation Awards and a participant in the NEA Summer Seminars. Please welcome Alexis Levitin and Salgado Manreal.
Boa noite. Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good evening. É um prazer estar aqui mais uma vez nesta cidade que eu acho linda, na casa de amigos tão queridos como Marion e Reed.
It's wonderful to be back here in Austin, a wonderful city, and it's great to be back staying with Marion and Reed, where we have stayed before. And in fact, we're thinking of making it a permanent home.
Sobretudo fazendo a coisa que eu mais gosto, que é poesia, falar poesia, levar a palavra poética às pessoas.
Doing exactly what we like to do, reading poetry, marvelous language of poetry, and bringing it to people.
É lógico que o mundo está muito difícil, aqui no Brasil e em toda parte, mas enquanto houver pessoas que tenham sensibilidade para a poesia, o mundo pode ser melhor.
Pode ser melhor?
Sim.
Pode sobreviver?
Sobreviver.
The world's in terrible shape, but as long as there are people who can respond to poetry and care about poetry, some of them actually prefer prose, right? But if they give poetry a chance, the world has a chance. The world
Porque
can get better.
uma das virtudes da poesia é a sua gratuidade.
Bom, essa é difícil para mim. Tem
É,
alguém?
existir ser para gratuidade, ser gratuitamente como a brisa, como o vento.
Oh, of course. The gratuitousness. One of the great things about poetry is its gratuitousness. It just comes, even when you don't expect it.
E quando a gente vê, por exemplo, pessoas que saem de casa para buscar essa brisa, essa aragem de gratuidade, isso é um alento para quem faz poesia.
It uplifts the spirit for someone who writes poetry to see people who come to hear poetry.
É um alento para quem faz poesia.
It's an alento, it's an uplift.
Vamos começar lendo esses poemas deste livro, que nós lançamos em 2012.
This book came out in 2012 with Milkweed Editions in Minneapolis. And Salgado and I went all over the country. I think we read at 50 schools that year. And we drove 17,000 miles. I drove 17,000 miles. He just had to suffer in the passenger seat. The death seat.
E prosseguimos lendo poemas do Taiga Fu e do Palavra, que estão aqui para vender.
And then we will continue and read poems from Tiger Fur, Pelagem da Tigre, and from Palavra. Palavra is an untranslatable word, it's a neologism that he invented, and it subsumes within it suggestions of palavra, which is word, árvore, which is tree, labora, which is hard work, toil, and it can also be translated as handicraft, or yes, craft. And there also are suggestions of the words lava and larva. These words that appear quite often in Salgado's work. The larva is the new insect springs out of the larva and is a symbol of new life, creation. And lava is a symbol of the passion of poetry for him. So all those words are subsumed in Palavra, the name of the new book that's sitting over there.
Nós vamos começar lendo um poema Yanomami.
Okay, Peter, you can go to sleep because you just heard these 4 hours ago, 5 hours ago. We're starting with a poem called Yanomami. I trust all of you have heard of the Yanomami. There are people in the process of more or less being extinguished in the Amazon today. There are nomadic people, and Brazil, of course, wants the Amazon for at least 4 things. It used to want it for rubber, then it wanted it for cattle raising, so they cut down all the trees and turn them into fields for cattle. And of course, there's gold in the Amazon, so they're in there for that, gold and diamonds. And all of this is bad news for the Yanomami, who are nomadic and need space.
Pouca gente fora do Brasil sabe que quase a metade do Brasil é a Amazônia.
Hardly anyone outside of Brazil, or maybe even Brazilians, hardly anyone knows that about half of all of Brazil is the Amazon.
Quando os portugueses chegaram no século XVI, no começo do século XVI, havia 6 milhões de índios. Agora,
When the Portuguese arrived at the beginning of the 16th century, there were approximately, what it is estimated that there were approximately 6 million Indians in what is now Brazil.
agora talvez chegue a uns 300 mil, depois de 500 anos. De 520 anos, os índios que sobraram
Bom, 300, ou seja, muito melhor do que nos Estados Unidos.
Sim, mas morreram até os que não nasceram.
Como?
Morreram até os que não nasceram. Porque se em 1500 eram 6 milhões e em 2019, quase 520 anos depois, só tem 300 mil, morreram até os que não nasceram.
So, 300,000 are left today. I was telling him that compared to the United States, that's quite an extravagant figure. But he said, look at all the ones who are dead. So in 500 years, the vast majority of the Indian tribes died, and a lot of those languages are disappearing as well.
E uma dessas nações em extinção é o Yanomami.
One of these peoples in extinction, in the process of facing extinction, are the Yanomami.
Que tem um mito que diz que os colonizadores não nasceram como todo mundo, eles nasceram do mestre.
And one of the myths of the Yanomami is that the colonizers, the invaders, who came and were in the process of destroying their culture, weren't born like normal people, from normal intercourse and so on and so forth. They were born from menstrual blood. And that appears in this poem, that mythic concept.
Quando vierem os filhos do menstro, com suas línguas de pólvora, quando vierem as hordas rudes, chama Tupã, chama Xamã.
When the children of menstruation come with gunpowder tongues, when the barbarous hordes come, call Tupá, call Xamã.
Quando vier a luz sangrenta, quando vierem os deuses homicidas com sua sede de pedras, chama Tupã, chama Xamã.
When the bloody light comes, the homicidal gods with their thirst for stones, call Tupá, call Xamã.
Quando os lugares sagrados forem tocados, a noite virá. Virá como o hálito da manhã, pois estarei me pondo fraco. A noite virá como o vento, pois estarei morrendo.
When the sacred places are disturbed, night will come. It will come like the breath of morning, for I will be growing weak. The night will come like the wind, for I will be dying.
Quando o rio grifar na terra ácida sua legenda de sangue.
When the river carves from bitter earth its legend of blood.
Ó vento que alinha o destino, ó rito que fala aos ancestros. Chama Tupã, chama Xamã.
O wind that aligns our destiny, O right that speaks to our ancestors, call Tupá, call Xamã.
Levitin é pessimista com essa possibilidade, e provavelmente ele está certo, mas um povo que quer se preservar tem que descobrir sua origem.
For a people to survive, they have to discover or rediscover their origins. Salgado, when he read this poem back in 2012, he tended to read Xamã Tupá, Xamã Xamã, as if it can be done, as if you can call up the old gods. And I would read the English translation word for word the same as his, except that when I read it, call Tupá, call Xamã, it was hopeless. I was reading the same two lines in a hopeless tone of voice. I don't know, is that translation? And I've discussed it with him. I didn't hide that from him. I simply see them as inevitably defeated. How can you fight back against what the modern world does? But he was hoping that maybe they could reach back to their ancestral beliefs and call upon those gods for help. Whereas I see that they can call upon the gods, but that the gods won't answer. Ok, vamos.
Vamos falar o poema que dá título ao livro, que é dividido em capítulos. Vamos falar alguns capítulos, que é muito longo o poema.
The first poem of the book is actually an 8-poem sequence. We're not going to read the whole thing, we're just going to read 2 of them.
Venho dos córregos de água salobra, do descampado chão de farelos. Na cara o sol rachou minha gira seca. É o que digo aos guardiões que batem lata em meu silêncio. Distante ovulam ritos na memória, como remendos do ontem. E meu olhar rasante incide, infante, ao cânion livre e ao habites da flama do dia e sua blitz. O que não busco me tem, o que não houve era meu. Pedras no caminho torto, mentiras feitas de mel. Há que se viver o árido como se cálido, há que se viver o breu como se brio, há que se viver o nada como se nada, nada, nada até sangrar, e só dão água para quem já tem o mar.
I come from gullies of brackish water, abandoned fields of stubbled earth. The sun has cracked the dry clay of my face. That's what I say to the guardians rummaging about in my silence. In the distance, rituals of memory ovulate like patches on yesterday, and my sweeping gaze swoops a prince through the free canyon and the dwelling place of the flame of the day and its blitz. What I do not look for holds me. What didn't exist was mine. Stones on the twisting path, lies made of honey. One must live the arid, impassioned, and torrid. One must live the vile with valor, with style. One must live nothingness as if it were nothing, nothing, nothing to the very last drop. They only give water to one who already has the sea.
Minha terra é um nome que desabotoa o indomável, a palavra física em meu uiviso entrado. Minha terra é terme. E urdir no capítulo da carne o sopro itinerante, e arder sob o som do tempo e sua lírica de escombros. Recolhido às artérias lúdicas, ouço cantar a memória no livro das lagoas secas. Insular e ascética, a semente fugaz dos rastros me guarda em seu enigma. Longe a flor que transborda e ao cio homicida que o canto, que o vento escuta e cala. Ducais rasurados de esperas velam noites até sair a trabax. Minha terra é minha pele. Das rinhas em que o sol dá músculos, a água, vieram o sol e o azeviche conjugados à carne. E vieram demandas de açúcar e súplicas, e vieram demandas de açoites secos a desatar fonemas à fervura. A mim que cingiram caminhos ao mar de antigas laceradas.
My home is the name that blossoms the indomitable, the physical word in my disemboweled howl. My home is to own myself, and to weave in a chapter of flesh the wandering breath, and to burn beneath the sleep of time and its lyric of debris. Withdrawn to playful arteries, I listen to memories sing in a living room of dry lagoons. Insular and ascetic, the fleeting seed of markings holds me in its mystery. Far off is the flower that speaks of a restraint that overflows, and of a murderous lust to which the wind listens and then grows silent. From the dark white clear of waiting, night keeps vigil to the clashing of African drums. My home is my skin. From cockfights in which salt gives water muscles comes the sun, and the blackest black mated to the flesh, and mills for grinding sugarcane, and men in supplication, and impositions of the whip, and centuries of untangling phonemes to add to the boil. To me, with whom they sailed their way to the Sea of the Antilles, lacerated. I want to say something about, I just realized something. The ending, a mí que cingiram caminhos ao mar de Antilhas laceradas, in Portuguese, lacerada only refers to the Antilles, so the Antilles were lacerated. In English, I was telling a class or a group of students 5-6 hours ago that in English, lacerated at the end of this long phrase can refer to me, lacerated, because of these memories, and it can refer to the slaves who were brought from Africa to the Antilles. But now that I read it, I see that it could be the phonemes as well. The little bits of language, of African language, that make their way into Portuguese, but are no longer exactly recognizable. They don't have their original identity. So the word lacerated, the violent word lacerated, associated with the whip, of slavery, both symbolic and literal oppression of slavery. That word lacerated doesn't just apply to Salgado and his memories, or the original slaves from whom he's descended, or the Antilles where it all occurred. It even applies to the language. Mesmo lacerada pode ser uma referência, pelo menos em inglês, às fonemas. Sim, esse fonema.
É, ótimo.
É bom, não?
É bom, é bom. Porque a questão da poesia é muito curiosa, porque ela não fala só no que fala.
Poetry doesn't just say what it seems to be saying.
Fala no ritmo.
It
Fala,
also speaks in its rhythm.
fala naquilo que não é significado, mas significante.
It speaks not oh boy, not just what it means, but o significante, or but what it can mean.
Exato, porque o significado
Pode sim.
é acabado, mas o
Sim.
significante é aberto.
Oh, good. The significado is the thing that is meant, as in an ordinary prose sentence, where presumably you mean to say one thing. In poetry, you have emotional layers and effects, and those become the meaning. In other words, the meaning in poetry isn't just the content, obviously.
Porque para a poesia, uma cadeira pode ser inclusive uma cadeira.
Okay, vamos.
Fala.
In poetry, of course, a chair can also be a chair. That's like the Freud joke about it. Sometimes a cigar really is a cigar.
Mas pode ser também o lugar onde a luz descansa.
But it can also be the place where the light takes its rest. Okay, vamos.
Do tempo.
Não,
Não, você quer um número?
Tem pouco tempo. Oh,
Não, dá.
não, mas parte 2 é melhor do que parte 1 do tempo.
Tá bom. Devagar as palavras amanhecem para exaltar o que não fomos. O poema se debate entre pupilas, dói no espelho, dói no sopro e dói, onde a luz é pedra, onde o ouço é uivo. Ruge sob as veias ocas a resgatar o espectro larvado das palavras adormecidas. Arrima-se na lâmina que se irmana à possessão da vertigem. O poema carne, cingido a pregos e a tijolos cruz, arrebenta o mar que nos inunda.
Okay, this is a two-part poem of time. We're going to read the second part because we're worried about running out of time. Slowly words dawn to exalt what we never were. The poem struggles among retinas, aches in the mirror, aches in the breath, and aches where light is stone, where bone is howl. It roars beneath hollow veins, ransoming the larval spectre of sleeping words. It leans upon the blade that couples with the ecstasy of vertigo. The poem, flesh, bound with nails and unbaked tiles, breaks against the sea that drowns us.
Vamos pegar o outro?
Bom, eu acho que ecstasy é tão bom para...
Então vamos.
Página 106.
Êxtase. Dançam hibiscos de sangue. Dançam hibiscos na fotografia, dançam sem movimento, absortos em sua rubra caligrafia. Dançam hibiscos de sangue, dançam na íris da cidade, dançam no clima, dançam na rima, dançam no olho da fotografia. Dançam no cromo do dia, dançam exóticos, dançam exatos, extasiados no estático. Dançam, dão-se.
Ecstasy. You know, I'm 12, 13 years older than this guy, but he's getting worn out. He used to read that much. It's a poem called Ecstasy. Olha,
Não, fala do seu jeito.
Ecstasy.
Opa!
Ecstasy. This is a photograph of hibiscuses, red hibiscuses. Salgado saw it in a photo exhibit, an exhibition. And this poem doesn't have anything to do with his own history. It's a description of the life that he saw in the photograph. Ecstasy. Hibiscuses dance in the photograph. They dance, motionless, absorbed in their crimson calligraphy. Hibiscuses of blood. They dance in the eyes of the city. They dance these climbs. They dance these rhymes. They dance in the eye of the photograph. They dance lithe lithograph of day. They dance exotic. they dance exact, in ecstasy, statically. They dance, they dance, they give themselves to dance. Mate?
Mata.
Okay, this is, we usually
Mas
like
não
to...
falamos nada dos outros. Fala uma coisinha dos outros também.
De que outro?
Dos outros livros.
Ah, bom, okay. So, deixamos mate até fim.
Isso.
Okay. There's one more from this book we will read, but we'll save it for the very end. Okay? Tiger Fur is about passion.
Isso.
By the way, the name in Portuguese, pelagem de tigra, it was feminine. Just typical of a male to blame all the problems of passion on a woman. And I got rid of that because I'm so enlightened. I have been trained by the modern era in which I live to be at least neutral, sexually neutral, if not totally neutered. Okay, so what did I call it? You didn't get that, huh? Tiger fur. I didn't call it tigress fur, and I'll tell you why. Passion, it's not the woman who kills you, it's passion who kills you. If you happen to be Salgado, it was a woman. But I'm sure there are plenty of women in Brazil who have suffered because of Salgado. It's a universal thing. It's passion that kills you. So the tiger isn't the woman. The tiger is passion. So instead of calling it the fur of the tigress, I called it tiger fur. You know, a kind of a universal torturer. Ok, é sobre o
Vamos
tipo.
falar na Divis? Em vez do outro?
Não, mas vamos fazer a última poema. É bom, não. Mas a última poema não é sobre palavras, é sobre paixão, não?
É, mas eu digo que se a gente fizesse...
Ah, na Divis? Ok, ok.
Aí você discute alguma coisa.
So this one is a sonnet. Translating a sonnet, there are translators in here. I mean, translating a sonnet is a great challenge. It takes you months and months, but it's great fun. And the problem is that in 14 lines, you got to get all these rhymes as well as the iambic pentameter. Iambic pentameter is easy in English because the English language is practically iambic. So you break it up into pentameters. But getting the rhymes isn't easy. And so it takes months and months, and this poem had a particularly difficult rhyme.
Nadires, a sanha que aquece a raiz dos húmeros enseja o coração um disparate, ao desvelar o que é de flor em fero, ao se tornar fiel ao climate. São forças que nos raptam a um sem número de vezes e vieses e desates, e nos reduzem simplesmente aos meros, felizes perdedores desse embate. Tal que não há trégua entre o amor e o fogo, nem no sonho que enlaça nossa íris, nessa teia de nadas e nadires, em que tudo se rende ao mesmo jogo. Vem da palavra sagração dos ritos, esta relíquia de silêncio e gritos.
So the book is about passion, but it's also, as all of Salgado's books are, it's also about the word. And Salgado feels, how can I put this, both personally and even as a representative of the town he came from, a nameless town in the middle of nowhere, people who've never been heard of and never will be heard of, all of them illiterate. He feels that there is some salvation in the word because you can name things. And once you name them, you're not totally lost. So, this is about passion on the one hand and about the importance of the word on the other. Nadirs, sorry. The burning, for Salgado, it's a whole thing from Kung Fu, but the source of energy is in the humorous. And he actually uses the word humorous for a rhyme word, and forget it. So I avoided that. But the shoulder, I called it the shoulder instead of the humerus, is where the energy comes from. Energy,
Transmissão.
the transmission of energy. The burning shoulder's rage, like bubbling yeast, attends the foolish gestures of the heart, as it unveils the flower in the beast, as it turns faithful to its killer art. There are forces that gnaw us hour after hour, through endless slippage without consummation, reducing us, stripped now of all our power, to happy losers in our confrontation. No truce is struck between true love and flame, not even in the dream that snares our eye, in webs of nothing where our nadirs lie, where everything surrenders to the only gain. But from the word, blessed rituals arise, this reliquary of silence and of cries. I particularly like the last line because people forget, well, maybe not you folks, but the ordinary person forgets that a major part of speech is silence, a major part of poetry is silence, just as quite often in painting, it's the negative space, the space that hasn't been painted, that can be quite important. Take a look at some of the so-called unfinished Cézanne landscapes. They are fantastic because supposedly they're unfinished. I don't think so. I think he wanted it that way. The white canvas.
Eu não quero nem saber qual a dificuldade, porque as dificuldades que eu tive para encontrar as rimas.
Ah, você também?
Não tem
pior
rima
pra mim?
para números. Não tem rima para
He
números.
can't tell you how many problems he had finding rhymes.
Números.
For humorous.
Eu tinha que encontrar expressões com uns meros.
É.
Então, eu imagino que aqui também foi muito difícil.
Foi
Né?
muito, não, foi pior.
Foi pior.
Vamos com Tiger Foot. Tá?
Isso.
Here's another sonnet from the same book, the last poem in the book, and it's the one that gave its title to the book.
São feitas de crisântemos as fibras desse fogo que se molda à palavra. E é esse jogo em que o amor se equilibra, como se a vida então lhe fosse escrava. Ou talvez da pelagem de uma tigra que ocultasse um vulcão em sua lava, para blefar que fica enquanto migra, para fingir que beija quando crava. Mas isto são hipóteses, ou arenga ao que se queira e não está à venda. Um teçar de lábios na carne brusca. São só pegadas do que seja a lenda de algum tesouro que se nos ofusca, que ao tê-lo não se tenha mais que a busca.
So this poem, Tiger Fur, sums up in a way the book, and it's about the frustrations of passion and how it never quite consummates or satisfies itself. Chrysanthemums, the fibers of this fire that molds itself to words, that takes their shape and fits the game where balanced on a wire, love sways as if love now were just its... Excuse me. I'm going to start over. Chrysanthemums, the fibers of this fire that molds itself to words, that takes their shape and fits the game where balanced on a wire, love sways as if life now were just its slave. Or maybe they are made of tiger's fur that hides volcanic flames behind its play, to sink its fangs as it pretends to purr, to go away as it pretends to stay. But these are just hypotheses that veil with talk what you desire that's not for sale. A sudden clash of lips on flesh, on skin, the tracks, no more, of some forgotten tale of treasure that bewilders us and takes us in. So winning it, we only win chagrin. Yes, I had to turn to French to get the final rhyme.
Então, temos mais um. Vamos pegar um pouco a palavra para ler um poema da.
Claro, mas você não queria mais daqui, não é nada?
Não, para a gente ler mais
Tá
um
bom.
poema.
Isso é com você, escolhe.
Tá bom. O verbo, né? Vamos lá no verbo.
Tá bom.
Obrigado. 20.
This is the new book, Palavra, came out this week, last
Isso.
week.
O que está no verbo está na carne, na fúria do lobo, na túnica da tarde. O que está no vinho está na veia, na lã que emaranha um inseto e a teia. O que está no riso está. O que está no rio está no riso, no abismo que alumbra o lago de Narciso. Plasmam reticências de auroras e ruínas. Bailam sobre runas o fogo e a pólvora, o sangue e a fortuna.
The word. And the word he used in Portuguese. Tem alguém que fala português aqui? Então, ele usava verbo em vez da palavra, não é? And from my point of view, verbo is the older word for palavra, the less common word. And for us, it appears in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and so on. That's the verbo. And it was, in Latin, it was the verbo. So I called this poem The Word. That's the only thing I could do. There is no, I can't call it the verb. I called it The Word, and the only thing to try to indicate that verbo is a bit different from palavra, the common word, is to say the Word, as in the beginning was the Word. The Word. What is in the Word is in the flesh, in the wolf's ferocity, in the afternoon's breath. What is in the wine is in the vein tonight, a woolly tangle, insect and web wrapped tight. It is laughter that the river waters make in the abyss that dazzles Narcissus and his lake. They shape the reticences of dawn and all its ruins. They dance on ancient runes and mud, fire and powder, fortune and blood.
Vamos na parte de poesia. De vez em quando a poesia se insinua para que eu a possua. Depois arredia, desaparece, como se habitasse a outra face da lua.
The title, Poe and Company, not Edgar Allan Poe, but Lee Poe. So it's poetry. But in Portuguese, poesia, Poe and Company means poesia. I mean, it sounds like poesia, poetry. So that pun was lost. Once in a while, the translator loses. Perhaps a lot of times. Lee Poe and Company. Once in a while, poetry comes sidling by to be possessed. Later on, she slips away, disappears, as if her home were on the far side of the moon.
Página 114. O poeta e as coisas. As coisas querem vazar o poema em sua crosta de enredos. As coisas querem habitar o poema para serem brinquedos. Chove nas fibras de alguma essência secreta e o poema rasga a arquitetura do poeta.
The poet and things. Things want to flash through the poem with its crust of entanglements. Things want to dwell in the poem, becoming toys. It rains on the fibers of some secret essence, and the poem tears apart the poet and his structure. Oh, we read this at LSU a couple of days ago. An important person in the audience was from the Department of Architecture. And she was just delighted to encounter the word architecture in a poem from Brazil.
Vamos lá.
Não quer mais da palavra?
Vamos mais um.
Talvez esta que você gosta no voz. Você gosta de voz?
Voz. Vamos lá no voz.
Voice, page 33.
33. Minha carne é fibra de argila e sol, verão. Ou docas onde a dor se incuba secretamente. Sei que em meu paiol os androides de porre dançam rumba. No entanto, flui de mim um girassol lilás, que luz que jaz, que é mais que alumbra, esculpe as esquadrias do arrebol. Dissolve o tempo sobre a minha juba. Já de júbilo desse pergaminho, aceito o temporal, redemoinho de pedras, tanto degrau, tanta esgrima. E ao ter somente a voz como caminho, agarro a poesia pela crina e me arrimo na minha própria rima.
There seems to be another sonnet. I didn't realize there were so many. This one's called Voice. My flesh is made of clay and summer sun, or docks where hidden in remission pain in silence grows. And to my silo come androids on a binge to dance upon my grain. Nonetheless, a sunflower flows from me, a lilac flare, a light that jazzes flame. It sculpts and frames the rose-red dawn. I see dissolving time above my lion's mane. Already overjoyed, I sketch this poem. Embrace the storm, the whirling wind of stone. How many steps, how endless all that fray. With nothing but my voice to mark the way, I cling to poetry by its flowing mane, maintaining self through rhyme, the word, the name.
Vamos lá. Obrigado.
And his best poem, vamos a mate. So his best poem is dedicated to his mother, who was a remarkable woman of great strength of character, and couldn't read and write and so on and so forth, and would have been totally unheard of had he not written this poem. And he's always felt that some street should be named after her, or even some plaza. But because of the class from which she came, which is kind of a rural, it's not even working class, it's a rural sharecropper class. In American, the analogy in America would be sharecropper. So nobody would have ever heard of her. He started writing a poem about her and couldn't finish it. And then she died. And then he went back and finished the poem as a commemoration of his mother. The poem begins with a, for 3/4 of a century, I've never known what an epigram or an epigraph are, so you'll have to correct me. But it begins with a epigraph. The poem begins with an epigraph, which actually his mother said. This is what she said. He says to her, Mom, he comes to visit from Rio de Janeiro. He comes up to Teresina, and he says, Mom, what do you do? I mean, when the housework is done, what do you do with your time? And his mother says, sometimes I sit here under one of these palm trees, taking in the wind and the monthly payments of the plants. And he thought, holy shit, my mother's a poet. And so that became part of this poem about his mother.
Foi tão surpreendente que eu quase perco, que eu quase não escrevo, porque não acreditei que estava ouvindo isso.
He couldn't even believe what he was hearing. He almost forgot to write it down because he'd never heard anything like it. All right.
De Tinoá se crê um álbum de família, retratos da infância dos campos de arroz e gergelim. Talvez reste em pensamento pedaços de tua voz no vento, como impressões digitais num rio. No dia em que o azul roubou teus olhos e o silêncio rival rasgou teu nome, cotovias cantaram no meu rastro, no dia em que amanhã cerrou teus olhos. Sem ti, sou a flor da árvore desolada. Agora, o mar bate em minhas rochas e a noite ronda meus calcanhares.
For his mom, I'll stand up.
Stand up.
Mater. Oh, about the title Mater. Of course, that's Latin instead of Portuguese would have been Mãe. 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 But he calls her Mater, maybe to go back to the roots, the Romance language roots, but also, I think, because his mother attended Mass whenever a priest would come by 3 times a year, and the Mass was in Latin, of course. And I think that this mater, for me at least, the word mater in Latin makes me think of the beauty of the music. I mean, I was a kid. When I was a kid, even in the United States, all the masses, Catholic masses, were in Latin. And you didn't understand it, but it was a lot more moving. Now you think you understand it. And who understands mystery anyway? Who understands being dead and 3 days later you're alive? Does anyone understand it? Okay, so since religion, to a large degree, is about emotion, why not have it in Latin? But alas, we've lost that. His mom only heard Mass in Latin. Foi sempre latino,
Sim.
a missa de mãe.
Isso.
Né? So anyway, that's why I think he called it Mater.
Houve uma mudança na igreja, isso depois da ditadura militar, década de 60, mas antes as missas eram rezadas em latim.
Sim.
É mesmo no interior.
Mas já mudou com a ditadura?
Já mudou um pouco perto da
It was
ditadura.
starting to change in the 70s, but I didn't think so. I was there in the
A igreja,
70s.
por um objetivo de alcançar mais pessoas.
É verdade. So the idea, of course, of getting rid of Latin is to reach more people. But I think it's a mistake. Latin is like poetry, music. It's music. Years I'd say to my mom, "My God, what a wonderful country! What a wonderful ocean, sea! What wonderful islands! What wonderful colors! And what a beautiful, beautiful language!" And my mother, who was really smart, would say, "Yes, that's because you don't know a word." After all, you can listen to a couple of people, hucksters, talking about a price of a shirt on a street corner in Athens, and it sounds like poetry when you don't know Greek. Anyway, Mate, of you, there's not even a family album. Photos of childhood in fields of rice and sesame. Maybe in my thoughts, there linger fragments of your voice in the wind, like fingerprints on a river. On the day the blue stole your eyes and silence tore apart your name, skylarks started singing in my tracks. On the day the morning closed your eyes. Without you, I am the blossom on the tree, bereft. Now the sea beats against my rocks, and the night prowls at my heels. Well, we have to stop.
Essa tradução, o Levitin cometeu um erro cultural.
I made a real cultural error in this poem, but I correct it in any book we ever sell. I mean, with pen and ink, blood.
Porque ele não podia imaginar que a situação em que vivíamos no interior do Maranhão, uma situação neo-medieval.
I couldn't believe the neo-medieval lifestyle, so to speak. It's not a style because it's not a choice. The life that these people led. And when Salgado wrote, "De ti não há sequer álbum de família,"
Eu não podia imaginar que não tivesse nenhum álbum de família.
I couldn't believe that they didn't even have a photo album. And so I translated it erroneously. Of you, there's nothing but a family album. Completely wrong. And he very graciously defended me, saying that's my cultural background. I'm unable to imagine the utter poverty in which they lived, the poverty in which there wasn't even a photograph. And whatever the reason is, I now correct it. Of you, there's not even a family album. Salgado has no picture of his mother before she was an old woman.
De vez em quando, o padre, no que chamava de desobrigas, era uma campanha para ir ao interior, batizar os novos nascituros, as crianças, e fazer casamentos.
Once in a while, priests would come by.
2 vezes por ano.
2 times a year, they would come by to baptize babies who had been born in the last year, the last 6 months, and to perform marriages.
Acompanhando o padre, iam fotógrafos, iam pessoas vendendo, para vender feiras livres, de vender brinquedos,
Really?
vender coisas. Exato. Era
He never told me this before. Apparently, following the trail of the priest would come people, maybe to take a photograph and try to sell it to you, except no one had any money, and people selling little toys for children.
Eventualmente, havia uma forma de tirar fotos. Provavelmente ninguém alcançou isso aqui nos Estados Unidos, dos que estão aqui. Que era uma caixa,
Sim.
e que metia a mão.
Você viu isso?
Sim.
Finally, there was a day when the guy would come following the priest, and he'd have this black thing, and he'd reach in with his hand.
Revelava na hora, daqueles ali. Tal,
Revelaram na hora?
Na hora, era uma caixa.
There was a big black box, and that was the camera, and they would develop the picture on the spot, probably on a plate, right? Mas estava de vidro ou foi uma fotografia mesmo?
Não, fazia uma fotografia, mas era um sistema muito antigo de se fazer fotografia e não durava muitas fotos. A única foto que eu tenho da infância é esta. É uma tirada assim, com 9 anos. Ali não podia pegar luz, né? Então eu tirava foto e depois o fotógrafo ia lá e olhava por tudo, revelava e já dava a foto na hora, botava para enxugar.
Really? So they could actually buy, if they had any money or whatever, they could get a photograph from such a traveling photographer. But the only one he has from his entire youth isn't of his mother, it's just one of him when he was 9 years old.
Mas nem todo mundo tirava fotos.
Yeah.
Então minha mãe não tem uma única foto da infância.
Yeah, there's not a single photo of his mother as a child.
Então, por isso não tinha árvore de família, ninguém tinha foto.
Sim, sim, sim.
Hoje em dia, você, com o celular, você tira foto até do vento.
Nowadays, with your iPhone, you can take a photograph of anything, even of the wind. Heavy stuff. Those are the poems we tend to read. We're happy to discuss anything. And
Se alguém tem uns livros aqui, se alguém quer conversar, perguntar, fazer alguma pergunta.
yeah, any questions about Brazil, about
Yeah.
Salgado's life,
Yeah.
or about translation, which is what I'm interested in, we're happy to talk about any of that, and we're also happy to sign books. And what else? That's it. Did we read too short? We could read longer. Where's Joe?
No, you're good.
We're good? Okay.
You're good. Do a little Q&A.
Oh, we're doing a Q.
Ask Salgado what's going on in Brazil now.
Oh, yeah, okay, what's happening in Brazil right now? ¿Qué pasa no Brasil agora nesse momento? That's a political
O
question.
Brasil teve 13 anos de regime de esquerda.
Brazil had 13 years of a leftist regime.
Regime que eu apoiei, que eu fui dos fundadores do partido.
It was a regime that I supported. I was one of the founders of the workers' movement.
Mas os que estavam no poder se envolveram com tanta corrupção que, embora tivessem feito coisas muito boas,
The people in charge of this workers' movement, workers' party, however, despite having done good things, were so corrupt
perderam a credibilidade com o povo.
that they lost their credibility with the people, or at least with a lot of them.
Bolsonaro era deputado de muitos mandatos, mas fez várias vezes deputado.
Bolsonaro, who is now the president, was I guess you'd call it a congressman, I don't really know. A congressman elected and re-elected and so on and so forth many times.
Com posições extremamente conservadoras, mas era um insólito, ridículo, que as pessoas achavam engraçado.
He had very right-wing ideas and people didn't take him seriously until recently.
Mas ele foi, em função desta situação da crise do partido de esquerda que estava no poder, ter perdido a credibilidade, ele cresceu falando coisas que muitas coisas que a população achava e revoltada, ele foi uma solução.
So Bolsonaro, who had never been taken seriously, took advantage of the fact that the leftist regime, or the left-leaning regime, or the socialist regime, or the workers' regime, had become so corrupt, and everybody knew how corrupt they were. I mean, the whole country was practically bankrupt. The what's it called? The Brazilian nationalized oil company lost all its money because it was all stolen by the leaders of the leftist government. And so Bolsonaro took advantage of the revolt or the anger of the people against the 13-year-long leftist regime, and he made some promises, right-wing promises, such as I'll kill all the drug pushers. The same thing that happened in the Philippines. Yeah? I'll kill all the drug pushers, and what else did he promise? Fora de matar todos os narcotraficantes, que ele diz? Fora disso.
Não, ele diz muitas coisas em relação ao sistema de cotas, ele diz coisas que é contra, ele diz coisas em relação à forma de como educar na escola em relação a homossexuais.
Okay. There are a lot of social issues where he took the right-wing point of view. Social issues such as he's a president who basically is against homosexuals. I don't know if he actually said he would kill all the homosexuals, but he said something similar. What else did he say? He said, quotas. He's also against quotas. All these social, liberal, progressive things that have been going on in America and were going on in Brazil, he's against. And people voted for him. He won. Just as Donald Trump won.
A comparação dele com o Trump não é de todo fora de propósito, porque ambos falam coisas completamente insólitas.
Both of them, both Trump and Bolsonaro, say really unheard of things.
Mas o pior de tudo do Brasil de hoje é que a oposição ao Bolsonaro não está organizada para daqui a 4 anos
Well,
ter candidato para enfrentá-lo.
e você acha que aqui os democratas são organizados? Okay, so he said the problem in Brazil is that the opposition to Bolsonaro, it exists an opposition, but it isn't organized. So it isn't clear how they can possibly defeat him in 4 years.
Ora, eu não creio, há uma divulgação de ditadura, de tudo, mas isso não existe. Eu não creio nisso porque
No, quem?
em ditadura, que o Brasil caminha para uma
Oh,
ditadura.
he doesn't think that Brazil will remain or will become a dictatorship.
Não porque o Bolsonaro não tem vontade, é porque a sociedade é outra. Hoje, com a internet, ele ganhou a eleição com a internet.
He won the election partly through the internet, and in this world, this, what do we call it, this global world, he doesn't think Brazil can go back to a dictatorship the way they had it when I was there in the 70s.
E porque o mundo hoje é governado por Wall Street, governado pelo grande capital, e qualquer movimento que se faça, no caso do Brasil, que é uma economia volátil, o dólar aumenta, vai dificultar quem vai governar, ele vai cair pelo dinheiro, pela questão do dinheiro. Não precisa, e ele não vai fazer uma coisa dessa. Não vai virar uma Venezuela. Não tem como.
He doesn't think it'll become a Venezuela, he doesn't think he'll become a dictator, and he says anyway that basically what goes on in the world is dictated by Wall Street and by the dollar, and that tends to regulate things for its own benefit, but it won't need the dictators that it used to have in the 60s and 70s. Yeah.
So which poets do you consider your strongest influences?
Quais poetas foram mais... Você fica mais influenciado por quê?
As minhas primeiras influências foi pela poesia popular da minha região.
The very first influences were popular poets by these troubadours who came through. They're called repentistas. They come through maybe with a guitar and they sing traditional songs, but they also sing the news from other towns. And it's all highly rhymed, highly regular, and he heard that as a child.
Medievais e tal. Que aqui, provençais, que olhando daqui para lá agora,
Looking back at it now,
eu vejo que tinha tanta qualidade aquilo,
Assim?
que era admirável.
looking back at it now, he thinks it had real quality and he finds it admirable.
Agora, depois que eu aprendi a ler, eu tive acesso à norma culta.
Of course, once I learned to read, starting at the age of 15, I had access to normative culture, Western culture.
E aí eu tive acesso à grande poesia portuguesa, a começar por Camões, por Fernando Pessoa, os modernos do Brasil, Bandeira, Drummond.
So once I started reading, I had access to, for instance, in Portuguese language poetry, Lusophone poetry. I had access to Camões, the great epic writer of the Lusiads, Fernando Pessoa, the great 20th century poet of Portugal, and of course the Brazilian poets like Manuel Bandeira, Carlos Drummond de Andrade, that's as much as Cabral de Melo Neto.
Agora, se eu tivesse que selecionar 2 poetas que foram fundamentais na minha
If I
vida,
had to pick 2 poets who were absolutely fundamental in my education or my inner education,
eu selecionaria Fernando Pessoa e Vladimir Mayakovsky.
I would pick Fernando Pessoa and Mayakovsky, the Russian. The Russian who killed himself, but who wrote some poems before he killed himself.
You wrote a lot of poems.
He wrote a lot of poems before he killed himself.
Que, por incrível que pareça, a tradução de Mayakovsky em português é extraordinariamente boa.
Did you get that?
Foi feita pelos irmãos Campos,
Ah.
Harold Auguste Campos e Boris Schneiderman, que era descendente de russo, sabia russo.
With the help of a Russian descended Portuguese, Brazilian, these 2 guys, Geraldo and Augusto de Campos, who were really well-established poets in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. They did the translations of Mayakovsky into
Tem
Portuguese.
ritmo, tem
They have
humor,
rhythm, they have humor. He said they're very good.
Tem melopeia, tem fanopeia, tem logopeia, tem ritmo, tem humor, tem distribuição na pauta em branco, do jeito que Mayakovsky escrevia, magnífico.
Really good job. They laid it out on the paper right. It has, it's mellifluous. It's I didn't get all those words, but they were all positive words, as in the word euphonia, good sound, good sounds. Anybody?
Were those troubadours, are they Brazil-wide, or were they descendants of Griot?
¿Dónde ven esses troubadours, esses repentistas?
Isso é influência provençal, dos cantadores dessa região ibérica. Tem um pouco na Espanha, tem um pouco em Portugal, tem muito, né? E foram para o Nordeste do Brasil e lá...
So he would say that they came from Spain and from Portugal, and that they originally sprang from the troubadours of Provence.
E lá ainda
Provençal.
existe até hoje.
And they
Existem
still exist
festivais
today.
só desses campos. E tem uma cidade na Paraíba em que todo mundo fala poesia. Assim, o discurso do cotidiano.
Então, esse lugar não funciona, hein?
Funciona porque também a poesia, as pessoas estão acostumadas com o ser da poesia de não funcionar funcionando ao mesmo tempo.
He says that the town can even function, even though everybody speaks poetry there. Como se chama
Uma
esse-
espécie de faz de conta.
Como se chama esse lugar?
Não sei se é Souza na Paraíba, é o nome da cidade assim. Né?
Oh, it is. So this is kind of a simple question, I think it's, but from the time you started the poem for your mom, to the time you finished it, like, what was the process? How soon after her death did you go and say, I gotta finish this thing, or was it kind of a...
Boa pergunta. E quando sua mãe morreu, quanto tempo passou antes que você
What was the
acabou o
process
poema?
after you...
Como foi?
Eu levei por volta de 17 anos para acabar o poema. Eu vou contar uma história.
17 years passed from the time you started it till the time you finished.
Eu
But you
escrevi,
didn't answer your question. yet.
vendo minha mãe já com mais de 70 anos, eu fiquei pensando, essa mulher do povo que não tem nenhum conhecimento, nem ninguém a conhece e que fez coisas extraordinárias, se fosse uma mulher da elite, provavelmente
Não, eu já disse tudo isso. Mas sabe que eu não disse? É essas operações com costureira.
Eu
não falei isso.
Então eu pensei assim, puxa, vou escrever um poema para minha mãe, mas vou fazer devagar para ir lembrando de coisas.
I'm going to take my time writing this poem about my mom. This is when she was still alive. As I try to remember details.
Devo dizer que fazer um poema para pessoas que estão muito dentro da gente é muito difícil.
To write a poem about people who are deeply implanted inside yourself is not easy.
Porque você não tem distanciamento.
Because you don't have distance.
Mas por isso eu comecei a escrever devagar. Escrevi os primeiros versos, que dizia, abre o livro. De ti não há sequer isso. Para você. De ti não há sequer um álbum de família. Retratos da infância nos campos de arroz e gergelim. Aí eu parei aí. Talvez reste em pensamento pedaços de tua voz no vento como impressões digitais num rio. Eu parei aí achando que eu podia
So I
continuar.
stopped after the first two stanzas, thinking, well, I'll find further images, I'll find the rest of the poem. And she died before he found the rest of the poem.
Mas ela adoeceu e 4 meses depois ela faleceu.
She got sick, and within 4 months she was dead.
Eu morando no Rio de Janeiro, eu cheguei na casa do meu irmão, onde minha mãe estava sendo velada. Lá no Nordeste tem o hábito de velar as pessoas na própria casa.
So he went to stay at his brother's house up there in the Nordeste, where the family had come from, and he went to his mother's wake. You know, they have candles. Na casa mesmo?
Na casa.
And they have the wake in the
Ali onde você
family house.
esteve. Onde você esteve. Eu cheguei do Rio de Janeiro 4 horas da manhã.
I arrived at 4 in the morning from Rio.
Todas as casas do bairro estavam fechadas.
Everything was closed down and dark.
Só tinha uma casa que estava aberta e eu sabia por quê.
Você não sabia quando foi embora de Rio? Não sabia?
Não, é porque naquela noite todo mundo dormindo 4 horas da manhã.
Não. Quando você foi embora de Rio, você já sabia que mãe ia embora?
Não, eu morava lá e eles me avisaram que minha mãe tinha morrido.
Tinha morrido.
E eu tinha que vir para o enterro.
Uh-huh.
Eu cheguei 4 horas da manhã.
So you arrived at 4 in the morning, the whole neighborhood was dark, black, everything was closed up except one house, which had its lights on, and that was the house in which his mother's body was.
E eu continuei o poema lembrando desse dia em que eu chegava e que o azul tinha roubado os olhos de minha mãe. Porque o olhar de quem morre é muito feio, é muito triste.
So it was confronting his mother's dead body and so on that provoked him to start the second half of the poem.
Aí eu digo, no dia em que o azul roubou teus olhos, 17 anos depois eu falei assim, no dia em que o azul roubou teus olhos e o silêncio rival rasgou teu nome, cotovias cantaram no meu rádio.
So stanza 3. On the day the blue stole your eyes and silence tore apart your name, skylarks started singing in my tracks. On the day the morning closed your eyes, that came to him after confronting her body.
Senti só a flor da árvore desolada. Agora o mar bate minhas rochas e a noite ronda meus calcanhares. Depois você lê. A questão da mãe, como funciona para mim, eu acho que a mãe, quando você perde a mãe, e às vezes eu acho que as mulheres são dentro da estrutura familiar, pelo menos 51% das ações.
After all, in all family and all that happens in the family, women are present at least 51% of the time.
Porque quem tem 51% das ações é o presidente da empresa.
Oh, I'm sorry. They have, in fact, he made it more humorous. Of all that goes on in the family, a woman or the woman has 51% of the stocks.
Se bem que a mãe são quase 99%.
Não, essa mãe.
Não, pois é, há certas mães que são quase 99%.
Some mothers have 99%. About language.
Então, quando você perde a mãe, você perde o chão. Você perde o chão, você fica sem ter. Todos os lugares são teu lugar. Mesmo que tua mãe dependa de ti, aquela mãe referencialmente, ela é um pouso, um lugar, um porto.
When you lose your mother, you lose the very ground beneath your feet. You lose your place. She is the place where you can settle.
Voltar para a mãe é voltar para o simbólico, é voltar para o colo, para um colo imaginário, mesmo que ela esteja velhinha, de tudo, mas é tua mãe.
It's still your mom, even if she's really old and shriveled up and everything. She is the colo. She is the lap that you return to. You know, colo is interesting because it's the lap that you can put a little child on, but it's also the arms. If a woman holds her baby up against her breast, it's called in the colo. But this is also on the colo. So I don't know if we have a good translation for that. But we have a very good translation for desolado. In English, without you, I am the blossom on the tree, bereft. Is a lot, but for me, bereft, I'm torn to bits by that word, and desolado is almost quotidian by comparison. So once in a while, English has a word that is more powerful than the Portuguese. Just that one word.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And